Hey guys, if you've been bored enough to watch my previous videos, you probably know that recently I've been having a lot of fun playing Targa Top Tetris, switching between the three modes while trying to stress over where to put the extra tops when I'm not using them. Well, moving the tops for the first time in maybe 5 or 6 years definitely uncovered a few issues with the car. Thankfully, none of those are major issues. Most of it is just small cosmetic things or just minor annoyances. But and honestly, I don't even know if they were necessarily caused by me taking the tops off. Some of those issues may have been around the whole time. I just didn't notice them until I moved the tops. Or maybe they were actually caused by the extra bumpiness or lack of rigidity from driving with the tops off. I don't know, but anyway, just thought I'd do a quick video going over those issues, because where's the fun in owning an old car without any problems, right? So let's start with the first item. And I've talked about this one a bunch of times already in previous videos. The interior rearview mirror would not stay in place. Sometimes when I drove over bumps, it would suddenly kind of fall and just drop out of position, and I would have to fix it. This had happened once quite a while back before I had ever tried taking the top off, and I just moved it back in place and it was fine. But ever since I removed the Targa top, it's been doing that on a regular basis and really became a problem. Like I mentioned in the previous video, thankfully this one's already been fixed. It turned out it was just one little screw underneath the mirror holding it in place, and I just had to tighten it, so it took about 10 seconds and had no problem since then. So I'm really glad it wasn't a much more complicated issue. Now, speaking of screws, one time I was driving with the top down and my friend was in the passenger seat, and something suddenly fell and landed on him. At first we thought it might have been a leaf or an acorn or something like that. You know, both of us weren't used to driving or riding in convertibles anyway. So, but it turned out it was a screw. You know, it's a problem when pieces of your car start falling and landing on your passengers. But yeah, it turned out it was from the upper windshield frame on the passenger side. There was also a small plastic piece that broke off of there. I don't think it's anything too serious. I'm not sure if I'm going to try gluing it back or putting the screw back in, but there was also another screw that I had found just rolling around in the trunk area after I moved the extra Targa top out. I'm not sure where that's from. There were a few plastic pieces that had been broken that I found when I first got the car anyway, so I still have them. I think I should probably just do a detailed look-through of all of the screws and plastic panels across the entire interior, just so I'm aware if anything else breaks. Anyway, moving on to the next item, and this is something I had mentioned before too. There's a really loud rattle that comes from the passenger side when I'm driving. I started noticing this right around the same time I took the top off for the first time. I'm pretty sure it's coming from the passenger side, the front of the passenger side door panel. Seems like it's a little bit loose over there. I've done door panels on other cars before. It's a pretty straightforward process. Probably just some connector or bolt, whatever you call it, that's holding it in place. I just have to take time to look at it and see if it's loose or if it needs to be replaced. Okay, next item. What are we on now? 4? Losing count. Anyway, the hood release lever on the passenger side isn't working properly. I'm not sure if this was caused by driving with the top down, but it's always worked fine ever since I had the car. And it started malfunctioning literally the day that I drove it with the top down for the first time. So it might have to do with the chassis flex, just bending something slightly out of place. Maybe the spring that's lifting the hood is not working, it's not doing its job. But anyway, when I tried to open the hood, when I pulled the hood release lever and then go to open the hood, the passenger side remains latched in place. And the only way to open it right now is to actually hold the latch, the release latch, while lifting the hood at the same time, which is really difficult to do by one person since the hood is quite heavy. And I've also heard horror stories on these C4s where the hood actually makes contact with the door when the door's open and scratches the paint right off of it. I really don't want that happening with this car, whether it's by me or maybe a mechanic or somebody working on the car who is not able to open the hood alone. So yeah, this is something I definitely want to look into and try to fix soon. Okay, now let's go to the trunk. Moving the Targa top, the spare Targa top in the back, finally gave me complete easy access to the whole trunk area, including that retractable cargo cover protector, privacy screen thingy, whatever you call it, which of course is not working properly. I'm not surprised by this at all, given the car had sat untouched for more than half a decade, and the whatever rubbery plasticky material that screen is made out of is all stuck together. It takes a lot of force to pull out. Now I only tried pulling it out a little bit, and I don't want to try pulling the whole thing out yet because I have a feeling it's not going to go back in, and I'm just going to be left with this big ugly wrinkled mess sitting in the trunk. You know, given this is a 30-year-old car, I'm almost certain I'm not the only one that's had this problem. So I probably just have to look around the forums a little bit, and pretty sure I'll find a good answer there and be able to get this fixed. And that brings us to the last item. What is it, 6 items I think, if I count both screws as one. The plastic trim, the plastic trim panel in the back of the trunk is cracked. Again, this doesn't surprise me one bit. This is a 30-year-old car. It's been sitting for so long. I've seen a lot of videos of other C4 owners try to remove and replace the trunk plastic panels, and it seems like a pretty straightforward DIY job. Probably something I can do on my own. And I wouldn't be surprised if that crack or that panel also has to do with the broken privacy screen underneath that I just mentioned. So it's probably a good idea to get both of those done at the same time when I get around to it. So yeah, as you can see, ever since I started playing with the Targa tops, the list of things in this car that need fixing literally like doubled or tripled. Gotta love old cars, right? Well, like I've said before though, I've always loved cars pretty much my whole life. I just never really had a chance to learn about them or tinker with them growing up. I've always wanted to be able to do more hands-on work with cars. So this Corvette is actually a perfect opportunity for me to learn to do some of my own problem solving, learn to fix a few of my own things with the car, especially given these are all issues that are probably not going to lead to any more expensive or more serious problems down the road if I make a mistake. Some of the issues I mentioned are probably super straightforward, like that screw holding the mirror in place. So I definitely hope to spend some more time with the car, looking through all these problems and learning to fix them one by one. And hopefully in the future be able to help other owners who experience similar issues too. So yeah, if you are a C4 owner, if you've had similar problems, similar issues before, if you have any tips or suggestions, any words of wisdom, words of caution, feel free to chime in and let me know. See you guys next time.